Another season of exciting Princeton football is in the record books, and for the 15th year, this annual highlight film has been produced under the auspices of the Alumni Council of Princeton University. Cost of production is defrayed out of the Alumni Council Fund, to which all associations and classes are asked to contribute. This film is supplied without other charge except shipping expense to those associations and classes that request it. A print of each of these highlight films is deposited for safekeeping in the Firestone Library and constitutes part of the permanent records of the university. And now, let's watch the Princeton football highlights of 1963. Bakerfield, New York, Columbia's ball, first quarter. Archie Roberts' pass is snared by Jerry Hugg, and Jim Rockenbach brings him down on Columbia's 31-yard line. Once more, it's the Lions' leading passer, Archie Roberts. Complete to Hugg, who's down by Don McKay. Another first down for Columbia. It's a beautiful day in New York, and nearly 30,000 fans are here at Bakerfield. Bill Goodell stops Archie Roberts after a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 for the Lions. Roberts hands off to Harry Hirsch, who slants off right tackle. A fumble. Don Roth recovers for Princeton on Columbia's 46. The Tigers' ball, single wing right. Cosmo Iacovazzi bulls straight ahead, 2 yards before Columbia linemen push him back. Now with great blocking by Cosmo, Rockenbach, and Dick Springs, McKay comes around right end. A beautiful block by Al Swenson, and Don is out in the open. 44 yards to a touchdown for Princeton. Don McKay of Livingston, New Jersey. The try for the point, John Bedell holding. And the instep kick by Charlie Gogolak. It's good. 7-0 for Princeton. Second quarter now, Columbia's ball, Roberts fading the pass. Complete to Jerry Hugg. Roth, McKay, and Sutcliffe drop him on the Princeton 44. 2 plays later, it's Ed Malmstrom on the draw play. The Lions have yet to beat a Princeton team coached by Coleman, are really fired up. Malmstrom drives to the 22. The men of Old Nassau dig in. Columbia keeps coming. Al Butts goes wide to his left for 6 yards before Ron Bonomo spills him on the 11-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Lions. Hirsch is only temporarily halted, then drives to the Princeton 5 before Keys, Iacovazzi, and Sutcliffe make it final. 2nd down for Columbia, and Roberts doesn't fail the homecoming crowd. On a rollout, he scampers inside his left hand and all the way into the end zone. 7-6 in favor of Princeton. Now the all-important conversion. Columbia elects to try for 2 points, but Bobby Keys and Ernie Pasquarella cut Roberts down just inches short of the goal line, and Princeton wins 7-6. Sunny and clear at Palmer Stadium. The Tigers' ball, first quarter. Don McKay running to his right, looking downfield for a receiver. There it goes, and Rockenbach has got behind his defenders. Jim gets to the 1-yard line for Princeton. Goal to go, and Cosmo Iacovazzi shoots up and over behind a Princeton wedge. 6-0 for the Tigers. Pennsylvania's ball, in trouble for the Quakers. John Owens aims to pass, but watch closely. A one-handed interception by Iacovazzi, and Cosmo runs it back to the Pennsylvania 26 before he's tipped over. Princeton has added a belly series to its offense, and here it comes. Iacovazzi, number 32, rips off 5 yards behind superb blocking by the Tiger line. 2nd down. Princeton shifts from the box into right formation. Notice how well the orange and black linemen seal off the Quakers as Iacovazzi on a second belly play slashes to a first down on the Pennsylvania 15. 1st and 10 for the Tigers, whose running attack has got the Quakers reeling. It's teamwork front and back. Another belly play springs Iacovazzi straight down the middle, almost 10 yards to the 5. 2nd down and just inches to go for the first down. This time McKay fakes to Cosmo and races wide to his left. He's tackled on the 3, but it's 1st and goal to go. 10 men carry out their blocking assignments, and McKay slants over right tackle to a touchdown. Princeton goes out in front 13-0. Second quarter, the Tigers take off again. Behind great blocking, Iacovazzi keeps driving like a dynamo. He bulls his way for 9 yards to the Princeton 46. Moments later, the Tigers take to the air. That's Don McKay dropping back to pass. He fires a bullet to Robinson, and Bill keeps going all the way to the Pennsylvania 25-yard line. Princeton's ball, single wing left. Don McKay with Springs and Iacovazzi running nice interference, runs wide to his left. Twisting loose from a would-be tackler, the Tiger tailback goes all the way to the Quakers' 13. Let's give credit to those men up front. Notice the terrific power block by Smith and Swenson in the center of the line. Iacovazzi rushes through the wide opening off left tackle and drives all the way on the end zone corner. 20-0 in favor of Princeton. Third quarter. Malloy of Pennsylvania back in punt formation. Ernie Pasquarella leaps up to block it, and he recovers the ball on the Quaker 15. A nice play by the junior from Erie, Pennsylvania. Again, those Tiger linemen clear the way. Iacovazzi bullets over the weak side and runs straight to another touchdown. 27-0 in favor of Old Nassau. Fourth down and 7 for the Quakers. Malloy back to kick. He fakes the punt and tries to run, but Jack Singer nails him for a loss, and the Tigers take over on Penn's 39. With the line balanced right and the backs left, McKay goes around left end. That's Iacovazzi running in front of him to block the defensive back. A nice gain of 14 yards. Moments later, with the fullback flanking right and Dick Springs making a beautiful block, McKay goes around the right end to pick up 10 more yards, all the way to the Pennsylvania 6-yard line. Fourth down, fullback flank left. McKay fakes to Rockenbach and blasts through the middle for a touchdown. Princeton goes on to win over Pennsylvania 34-0. First quarter, Princeton's ball. Convoyed by Iacovazzi, Rockenbach, Udell, Robinson, Howard, and Bonomo, Hugh McMillan races around left end for a 22-yard dash to the Cornell 17. Watch Princeton's left end, Bill Howard and Dick Springs put a great block on that Cornell guard, and Bert Kerstetter drives through the opening to a first down on the Cornell 2. When the Big Red stops the Tigers cold, Charlie Gogolak comes in to try for a field goal. It's good. His second one of the year, and Princeton leads 3-0. Cornell ball on their own 44. Gary Wood, their fine quarterback, goes wide around left end and breaks out across the midfield stripe. He gets all the way to the Princeton 34 before Merlini, Kerstetter, Cady, and Singer haul him down. On second down and 3, Cornell decides to pass. That's Wood running to his right. It's complete to Scarton, who runs to the Princeton 14 before Ron Landeck bulls him out of bounds. Second down on the Princeton 7. Wood goes to his right and pitches out to Baker. He's heading for the goal line, and he goes over. 7-3 in favor of Cornell. Princeton bounces right back. With a fine block by Bill Howard, McMillan bursts into the clear from his own 24. The Fleet senior from West Palm Beach, Florida, does a good job of sidestepping the safety man as he races 44 yards to the Cornell 32. As the second quarter opens, Princeton moves down to the Ithacans 10. Again, it's McMillan. Hugh cuts sharp around left end to put the ball in the Cornell 3. Fourth down and 1 yard to go. Behind the Princeton wedge, Iacovazzi goes up and over. 9-7, favor of the Tigers. Cornell's ball on their own 35. Gary Wood drops back to pass. Landeck intercepts on Princeton's 48. Merlini, Hackett, Pett, and Kerstetter help clear his path. And Ron scampers all the way down to the Cornell 13-yard line. First and 10 for the Tigers. McKay runs to his right and looks for a receiver. There he is, Douglas Tufts, and Princeton increases its lead to 23-7. Third quarter now. Princeton's ball on its own 29. Springs, Rockenbach, and Swenson open up room for McMillan, and Hugh takes off again. Reversing his field through a thicket of white jersey, he steams 46 yards to the Cornell 25. Princeton shifts from the box. The line balanced left and the backs right. Again, it's McMillan with his three fellow backs giving him interference. Hughes stays on his feet to pick up another first down on the Cornell 12. That Princeton line does a great job today. Watch the middle as Iacovazzi fakes and then drives to the Cornell 6-yard line. Again, those linemen push back Cornell, and Iacovazzi bounces over the top. Princeton leads 30-7. The Ithacans fight to come back in the ball game. Wood fakes to his fullback, but keeps the ball to pass. Landeck intercepts again. This time, no one catches him, and he runs down the sideline with complete protection. 47 yards to score, and Princeton leads 37-7. Cornell's ball. The sophomore, Sponagle, running the tee. He pitches out to Wood, who drives to the Princeton 10, where Chuck Malini tackles him. Goal to go for Cornell. Sponagle makes a clever fake to Wood, then carries the ball himself. A 10-yard thrust to a touchdown. 37-14 in favor of Princeton. Final quarter. Princeton's two guards, Bonomo and Swenson, make key blocks in this reverse. Jim Rockenbach streaks around left end to a first down on the Princeton 43. Now we'll see another reverse. This time the play goes to the right as Iacovazzi hands off to the wingback from Bay Village, Ohio. Rockenbach is Princeton's varsity wrestling captain, and he twists and turns to the Cornell 41-yard line. Again, we see that same reverse that started this series. This time, the right guard, number 65, is Ned Porter. And this time, Rockenbach goes all the way to a touchdown. Princeton takes sole possession of first place in the Ivy League by beating Cornell 51-14. The Bruins gamble for a first down in the third quarter, and when Howard hits Antifonario for no gain, Princeton takes over on Brown's 39-yard line. One play later, Hugh McMillan makes a quick sweep to the short side after Hackett and Swenson spring him loose. First down on the Browns' 27. Now Springs, Trano, Hackett, and Bonomo help Jim Rockenbach pick up 7 more yards for the Tigers. They lead right now 14-0 as Rockenbach goes to the 20. First and 10. Slamming in on the weak side, Iacovazzi rips through the Bruins for 6 more yards to the 14. Single wing right. A trap play sends McMillan up the middle to the 9-yard line. Second and 5. On the trap, Iacovazzi fakes to Rockenbach and then bulls his way to the Bruins 5. A tremendous stand by Brown forces Princeton to try the air. McMillan is rushed, but he calmly fires to Jim Hackett, and the Tigers lead 20-0. The much-improved Bruins surge right back when they get possession. Jim Dunder passes to Seipel, who's stopped by Tufts on the Princeton 40. First and 10 for the Bruins. Dunder fades to pass again. Complete to John Parry, who's down on the 30 by McKay. Dunder makes a fine impression with his passing. This time he hits Bob Seipel for a first down on the Princeton 13. Watch that end Parry split wide to the right. Big John snares the 7th touchdown pass of his Ivy League career. 20-7 Princeton. The final period sees the Bruins moving again. Dunder finds his favorite receiver, the big right end Parry, and a first down on Princeton's 38. One of the outstanding receivers in the East, Parry makes all the right moves. Here he makes a sensational catch to make it first and 10 on Princeton's 16. On third down, Dunder fades to pass again, and Parry makes it 8 touchdown passes in his career, 20-13 in favor of Princeton. Princeton's ball, and a sparkling run by Hugh McMillan. With Iacovazzi and Springs to get him started, the slippery tailback evades the clutches of half a dozen tacklers and takes a 57-yard jaunt. He's finally cornered on the 15, and an unnecessary roughness penalty gives Princeton the ball on the 5. Here, the Tigers flying fullback, Yakavazi, goes over the top. 27-13 in favor of Princeton. With only a few minutes remaining in the game, Yakavazi demonstrates more of his powerful running style. Cosmo carries for 26 yards to the Bruins' 40-yard line. Once more, the hard-running junior from Scranton, Pennsylvania. This time, a quick sweep to the weak side, and Cosmo gains 11 more yards to the Bruins' 29. With only a minute left, Don McKay completes the drive with a beautiful pass to Rockenbach and a touchdown. Princeton wins 34-14 with 4 victories against no defeats in Ivy League competition. Third quarter, Harvard's ball. They lead Princeton 7-0 as Harshbarger slants off tackle to the Tigers' 37. A rainy day in Cambridge. Mike Bassett playing the quarterback spot for Harvard. A pitch out to sophomore halfback Dave Poe sends him off left tackle for another first down on the Princeton 27. On 3rd down and 8, a quarterback sneak by Bassett. 11 more yards right through center to the Princeton 14-yard line. Around his own right end and breaks loose into the end zone. 14-0 in favor of Harvard. Princeton's ball. Clint Johnson bulls through right guard for 6 yards to the Tiger 13. 2nd and 4. With good blocks from Savage and Mill, Johnson goes through left guard for a first down on the Harvard 19. 1st and 10 for Princeton. On a handoff from Johnson, Tufts picks up 11 more yards to the Harvard 30 as the quarter comes to an end. The final period, and Princeton's running attack begins to click. With a good block by Robinson, Rockenbach goes off right tackle for 7 yards. Now another reverse off the weak side. Yakavazi fails to find a hole and escapes to the outside. Cosmo powers his way for 20 yards to the Harvard 37 before he's forced out of bounds by Poe. 1st and 10. With McKay giving him a pretty block, Jim Rockenbach slams off left tackle to pick up 8 yards to the Crimson 29. 3 plays later, Rockenbach takes Yakavazi's handoff around right end. Jim makes it a first down on the Harvard 14 before he's forced out by Meckling. On 3rd down with a belly series to the weak side, Yakavazi goes through left guard with an 8-yard punch to the Harvard 1-yard line. 3rd down and still a yard to go. Cosmo goes up and over on his 3rd try, but Princeton loses its perfect record with a 21-7 defeat by Harvard. Palmer Stadium, November 16th. Pete Riley back to punt for Princeton. No scoring so far in the first quarter. Egloff signals for a fair catch, but fumbles the ball, and Craner recovers for Princeton on the Yale 23. 1st and 10, single wing right. Cosmo Yakavazi powers up the middle to the Yale 17-yard line. 2nd and 4. Again, it's the Princeton fullback. Yakavazi drives to a first down on the Yale 12. With terrific blocking up in front of him, and especially by Dick Springs, McMillan carries the ball to the Bulldogs' 7. 2 plays later, with Bonomo, Goodell, and Pascarella, McMillan sprints wide around left end to score the touchdown. He's in there. 7-0 in favor of Princeton. This is a clutch game for the Tigers, and now they move from their own 45. McKay back to pass. Roy Pizzarillo slips through the line and takes it for a first down on Yale's 43. Moments later, McKay gets ready to pass again. Over to the sideline of Jack Singer, and the Tigers have reached the Yale 29. On 2nd down and 12, McKay drops back to pass again. With no one open, Dunn decides to run with the ball. Tufts and Malashevsky give him nice blocks, and he's out in the clear. 30 yards before he's knocked out of bounds on the 2. As the second quarter starts, it's goal to go for Princeton. And Flying Tiger Yakavazi goes over the top. 13-0 in favor of Princeton. Yale's ball, and they come storming back. Rapp rolls out and fires to Hubbard. Don Roth goes all out to tackle him on the Princeton 38. Second and 5 for the Bulldogs. Their end splits wide. Rapp passes to Hubbard again, and he's stopped at once by Sutcliffe on the Princeton 21. Second down and 9. On a double reverse, Howard goes around right end. Yakavazi nice through to tackle him after a 5-yard gain. Third down and 4 for Yale. Rapp drops back in that pocket to pass. No one in sight, and he tears around right end. Roth and Howard bring him down on the Princeton 9. On third down with goal to go, Rapp makes a nice fake to the fullback and powers over left tackle himself. 13-7 in favor of Princeton. Now the Tigers get going from their own 33. On a double reverse with blocks by Singer and Malashevsky, McKay goes inside his right end for an 18-yard gain to the Yale 49. First down just inside the midfield stripe. Yakavazi barrels across right guard to the Bulldogs 43. More and more, Princeton shows the Elis its passing game. McKay is in the pocket, and he fires to Jack Singer for a first down on the Bulldogs 33. On second down, more fireworks. McKay completes a screen pass to Yakavazi, and a penalty for a face mask tackle gives Princeton the ball on Yale's 24. Second down and 2 yards to go. McKay dumps back to pass again. Complete to Pizzarello on a first down on the Bulldogs' 11-yard line. The Tigers stay in the air. Getting excellent pass protection, McKay sends a touchdown pass to Bob Keys. And Princeton leads 20-7. Third quarter. Yale's ball in their own 30. Don Pett leads a Tiger rush on Tony Grant. And he and Jack Singer nail the Eli quarterback for a 14-yard loss. As the fourth quarter starts, Myron Wick punts out of the hole for the Bulldogs. Don McKay takes the kick on his own 48, and half a dozen Elis have him surrounded before he can move. On third down and 4, a Princeton surprise. Pete Paredes fakes a pass and hands back to Tutts. Doug goes inside left end and almost gets away when he slips, but it's a first down on the Yale 42. Great blocking makes for great running attacks, and Hackett and Bonomo do a superb job when Rockenbach goes inside left end of the Bulldogs 32. Watch that Yale linebacker on the lower left screen get taken out by Rockenbach. A key block for Hugh McMillan coming around right end and dashing 19 yards to the Eli 8-yard line. 2 plays later, the Tigers turn the speedy McMillan loose on another dash around right end. This one for the final touchdown of the game. Princeton beats Yale 27-7 for its 7th victory of the season. A happy afternoon in Palmer Stadium. First quarter, Princeton's ball, no score. Don McKay dumps back to pass. Steinhauser intercepts for Dartmouth, and it's the Indians' ball on the Tigers' 31-yard line. Dana Kelly, quarterbacking Dartmouth's tee, fakes the handoff and dumps back to pass. It's a beauty to Creelman on the dead run, and Doug Tufts pulls him down on the Princeton 3. Second down and goal to go. John McClain drives inside the left end, and Dartmouth grabs an early lead, 7-0. Second quarter, Princeton's ball, with power blocks by Howard and Rockenbach. McMillan slashes for 6 yards off tackle. First and 10 on Dartmouth's 37. Yakavazi slams through the middle for a 3-yard advance. Third down and 5. Watch Howard, the right end, make a fine block as Iacovazzi smashes up the middle for 10 yards to the Dartmouth 22. This time, Bill Crano, the Princeton center, moves into the secondary to take out a defensive back, and Jim Rockenbach races 14 yards to a first down on the Indians' 6-yard line. Goal to go for the Tigers. Iacovazzi pounds over the middle to within 2 yards of the goal line. Once again, that great Princeton line makes its charge, and Cosmo carries over the top. The score is tied at 7-all. Third quarter, Princeton's ball on the Dartmouth 40. McMillan gains 6 yards over right guard. Nice blocks by Howard and Rockenbach. The Tigers keep their drive going when Iacovazzi storms up the middle. Cosmo's legs don't stop moving until he gets to the Indians' 20. Now Bonomo and Howard provide more good blocking as McMillan slants off right tackle and goes all the way to the Dartmouth 9-yard line. 4 plays later, Princeton caps a 40-yard drive. McMillan goes into the end zone, and the Tigers lead 14-7. Princeton, eager to nail down the Ivy League title, starts moving again. McMillan powers his way for 7 yards to the Dartmouth 35. Now Springs, Malachevsky, and Hackett do a wonderful blocking job for Rockenbach. And Jim scoots 14 yards to the Indians' 15-yard line. Second and 8 for Princeton. Springs makes a key block on Spangenberg as McMillan goes wide around right end. He's in the clear and on his way to a touchdown. The orange and black lead Dartmouth 21-7. A win for Dartmouth can mean a tie for the Ivy League title, and the Indians are going all out. Spangenberg breaks loose through the middle and kicks and carries for 33 yards. Landick stops him on the Princeton 39. First and 10 for the Big Green. Dana Kelly fades to pass. It's complete to Peelman, who's driven out of bounds by O'Brien on the Princeton 24. 1 play left in the third quarter. Spangenberg leads around his left end. Paul Savage hits him hard, and he fumbles, but Steinhauser recovers for Dartmouth on the Princeton 15. As the final quarter opens, Dartmouth's hard-running Spangenberg carries again. Slanting off right guard, he dashes to a first down on the Tigers' 3-yard line. On third down, against a stubborn Princeton defense, Spangenberg finally goes over. A subsequent 2-point conversion makes it 21-15 in favor of Princeton. The Tigers ball. Pete Riley back to punt. A bad pass, and Riley falls on the Princeton 20. Serious trouble for Princeton. In 5 plays, the Indians drive to the Tigers' 6. Parkinson, inside right end, makes it first down and goal to go on the 1-yard line where Iacovazzi wrestles him down. Second down and the yard to go. Spangenberg slams at the middle, but Bob Key stops him for no gain. The Tigers are really digging in down there. Third down and the yard to go. John McLean smashes into the center, but Jim Hackett stops him short of the touchdown. Fourth down and still a yard to go. But Malachevsky, Swenson, Roth, Iacovazzi, and Keys make a human wall to stop Spangenberg from scoring. Princeton takes over on downs. The Tigers move it out to the 8 in 2 downs. Iacovazzi drives for the first down. A fumble. Creelman falls on it for Dartmouth on the 2-yard line. This time the Indians can't be denied. McLean races over. Dartmouth goes on to win the game 22-21. They earn a share of the Ivy League title with Princeton. A dramatic finale to the football season in Palmer Stadium. And now let's salute Princeton's departing seniors. First, the linemen. Bill Howard of Princeton, Illinois. Elliot Rothschild of Columbus, Ohio. Captain Bill Goodell of Canton, Ohio. Bill Crano of Akron, Ohio. Al Swenson of Rydal, Pennsylvania. John Clausen of West Palm Beach, Florida. In the backfield, Jim Rockenbach of Bay Village, Ohio. Dick Springs of Mount Kisco, New York. Pete Paredes of Marion, Ohio. And Hugh McMillan of West Palm Beach, Florida. And now, 1963 Captain Bill Goodell hands the ball to Cosmo Iacovazzi, Princeton University's All-American and captain of the 1964 Tigers.